Welcome back to Louisville Now. ABC, it's not as easy as the ABCs. It's the Alcoholic Beverage Control, an acronym for you there. And with me now is the Director of Licensing. He is Chris Robinson. Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, when I hear about the ABC, and I know this is probably, it's factual as far as the public is concerned, but it seems like there's always an issue with a bar or a restaurant.
Yeah.
Tell people a little bit about what you do. It's more than that.
Yeah. So in addition to all establishments that serve alcohol, so that's bars, that's restaurants, that's summer events. I heard earlier we're talking about like the World Fest. So we license like the food trucks that would be at festivals like that. We do armed guards, we do taxi cabs. So pretty much if it has wheels, we kind of oversee it and kind of regulate it.
Okay, so licensing period, right, overall?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the process. Let's give a scenario here. New restaurant comes in town.
Sure.
They need an alcohol license. How does it work?
Okay, so you have to do both state and local. So they would come in, they would fill out our application. They would also get in contact with the health department. So they would go through health department and get everything they need to get there. So once we receive their information in, we'll send the gentleman out, one of our ABC detectives. They also do regular inspections. So they would inspect the facility, make sure that they have everything in place, and then they would report back to us that they're good to go. It's a several step process. So then they would come to me as a director of licensing and then to the director of the department for like the final checkoff. And then they would also need to go through the state ABC department, which they essentially would be going through that same process with the state too.
Okay, so because you're a metro government agency, I know this is important to Mayor Greenberg, important to you, is public input. So I understand you've had a survey. What kind of things are discussed? What do you want to know from the public, and what should the public know about you?
Yeah, so that's really good. So the public has the ability to give input on any establishment that files for a license. I don't know if many of them know that. Now that's filed through the state, so that's reported to the state, but this is the first time since I've been here that we're actually getting input directly from citizens and it's coming directly to us. Usually it comes through the state, so it goes through them and then they filter it down to us. So the kind of things that we're looking for is, we take into account how many establishments are in a given area, crime rates in a certain area, all kinds of different things like and what's going on in a specific area before determining who gets a license and who doesn't get a license. So this survey that we have, I think it's in the Highlands in Duluth, if my memory serves me correct. But so we're getting input on what the public thinks on certain areas. So whether they feel like there's too many establishments, if they have an issue or an alt with a particular establishment, they're able to put that in the survey as well. So I know as of last week, we're at 500 that we have received in. It might be more than that. It's been over the weekend, but we've got a lot of good response in regards to it.
I apologize because I've kind of danced around. I said, I was saying issues or what do people want to know about? So, we hear a lot about some establishments. Now, most of them operated very well,
Yes.
by the book, by the rules, and we love that.
Absolutely.
But what kind of things can get your attention at the ABC, for lack of a better term? What gets your attention?
So main thing is underage sales is a big one. We've been in the news a couple of times here for establishments that have had underage sales. That's a really big one. Selling after hours. So each establishment applies for a particular license, 12 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m. And so they cannot have alcohol out and present past that given time frame. So those kind of things are really important. Also, we're looking to see, is your establishment safe? Are people able to come to your establishment, have a good time, and be able to leave safe? And that includes walking to and from their cars, not just the establishment itself, but we want businesses to take into account the whole entire experience from when somebody gets near their establishment, inside, and then also leaving.
Interesting. Oh, I'm curious, Chris. In a former life, I had a restaurant, and back then you could do a beer and wine license, or you could do an overall liquor alcohol license that covered everything. Are there different kinds of licenses?
Yeah, there are. So you can have like, so we'll just use restaurants. So you can do like a beer only license. So that would be like, obviously your beer, your malt beverages like White Claw, things of that nature. And then you can have your full liquor license, and you can do it by the drink. So basically that's open pour if we look at it that way. So package is in a sealed container, open pour is an open drink. So those are the two main types. And within that, there's several different breakdowns. So, there's 30 or so different license types or whatever.
I'm not sure, Chris, and if you would please confirm or deny, do you have any kind of jurisdiction or governance over how long bars and restaurants are open? Is that something that you guys also keep an eye on?
Absolutely. So an establishment, when they apply initially, they have to put an ad in the paper, and then that ad they have to specify what they're applying for. So just because they apply for it doesn't always mean that they're going to get it, but they do have to put that in there. So if they're just going to close the standard 12, there's no mention of closing, but anything 2 or 4 o'clock, that's how they're broken down. So you can go to 2 a.m. and then you can go to 4 a.m. And that's done strictly at the local level. State ABC does not look at late hours at all. That's only at the local level. So that's something that we absolutely want to know. We want to know like what type of establishment is it? Is it a bar? Is it a club? Or is it just a restaurant? Because then we're going to take into account other concerns. Obviously, safety concerns. Do you have adequate security? Do you have a plan in place if something does, go off and doesn't go as expected? So all that is super important. And so sometimes what we'll suggest is that an establishment start with the regular 12 a.m., see how that goes, and then they can apply for an amended license. And so then they have the ability to do that as well. They can apply for an amended license to get 2 a.m. or 4 a.m.
Good idea. These public surveys, I'm curious, how do you vet those as far as some of them could be someone has a personal vendetta or, they just don't like this establishment or it's too close or loud. And that's a whole nother issue is noise ordinance and all of that. Yeah, I hear you. But exactly. But what kind of positive feedback do you get? Let's talk about some good stuff.
Yeah. So, I would consider positive feedback as almost no feedback. And by no feedback, I mean like they don't have an issue with the establishment. Everything is going kind of as expected. So we haven't dived all the way through all the surveys. Obviously, we're still getting them in, and we're trying to figure out the best way to kind of filter through all of those and kind of determine, what people are really concerned about. But for the most part, like you said, there's going to be one off here, whatever. But you can kind of tell by what people are saying whether they're serious or not. And then obviously you take the group as a whole. And so, if you're talking about a particular area more than another, then we'll take all that into account.
Well, on behalf of the audience here at Louisville Now, thank you for what you do, Chris Robinson. I appreciate you. You're a real professional. Would it be inappropriate for me to say, hey, let's get a beer together sometime? Would that be inappropriate?
No.
Okay, good. Let's do it. You probably know the good spots, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. He is the Director of Licensing for the ABC, the Alcoholic Beverage Control here for Metro Government. Coming up here, okay, another reason to celebrate. We're going to talk to Gretchen Hunt, who is in the Mayor's Office for Women Equality. It's what we're going to talk about and how to celebrate equality for women. Coming up next on Louisville Now.